Do you understand your gift? And are you walking in your purpose? If you got some pen and some paper, I want you to write that thing down. I want you to take notes. And if you're in the chat, Allison Weaver, I know you are there. I want you to write that down in the chat so everybody else can follow along. Yo, do you understand your gift? And as a human being, are you walking in your purpose? But I don't know about you. For me personally, it's hard for me to process and digest whatever somebody is trying to give me if I've never met them before. In order for me to process and take what it is that somebody is giving me, I got to learn who you are, what you're about, and what exactly it is that you come from. And so I want to engage in those things with you all today with our time together. And for those of you who don't know, if you don't know what a gift is, if you don't understand your purpose, your gift, according to the Tyler Campbell standard version of the dictionary, is simply this. Your gift is that thing that you do with relentless passion, energy, drive, and consistency. But watch this. You can do that thing even if nobody ever pays you a dime or puts money in your pocket to do it. Then after you've figured out your gift, you then have to motion along and figure out what your purpose is. And by my definition, your purpose is your divine calling from the man up above. But I'm all about real life and real talk. And I can tell that y'all are mighty comfortable on the other end of the line right now with everybody's Zoom. So I figure, I might as well get comfortable too. Y'all in your shirts, you in your t-shirts, y'all relax. I might as well get to that standpoint too. So before we can engage in real life and real talk, I want everybody type in the chat, TC Speaks on the count of 3. If you can, type in the chat, TC Speaks on the count of 3 and let my energy and passion today be your energy and passion. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, that's it. Y'all type them in. Thank you. Much respect. Listen to me. I was born into a world that would have a great deal of expectation as to who I was and what I was to become as a human being on this earth. You see, my father is an NFL Hall of Famer, a Heisman Trophy winner, and a graduate from University of Texas. His name is Earl Christian Campbell. One of the greatest individuals to ever play the game of football. To my ladies, if you don't know football, it's cool. Just know the cat was really good. The only problem with these expectations is that me as a human being, as a young person, as a man, I didn't understand my own sense of self-worth and being. So from the moment that I was knee-high to a grasshopper, and by the way, if you're from the country, you get that. From the moment I was knee-high to a grasshopper, I thought that my gift was to play the game of football. And I thought that my purpose was to play football in the National Football League. And I was blessed to receive a football scholarship to San Diego State University. But ladies and gentlemen, sometimes all that glitters, it isn't gold. I remember it just like it was yesterday after playing BYU University. I went to sleep that night absolutely normal. No issues whatsoever. Only to wake up. And instead of rising to my feet, I fell flat on my face like that of an infant child who's learning how to try to walk for the very first time. I started experiencing slurred speech. I couldn't formulate my words. Paralysis shooting down the right side of my body, which put me at that neurologist's office that I opened up with you all at the very beginning of this story. This is real life and real talk. I'm 21 years old, and on top of all of this, they're saying I have erectile dysfunction issues as a man. They administer to me what is called a spinal tap. They take a needle that is this long. Y'all listen to me. They took a needle that is this long, and they jammed that needle into my spinal cord. And they extracted what is called your spinal fluid. And after MRIs and testing my fluid, it was learned that I possessed an autoimmune disease called multiple sclerosis. Oh, I never heard of this disease before. MS is an autoimmune disease, which means my body literally attacks itself. My own body is its own worst enemy. With this disease comes paralysis, which I was experiencing, a lot of pain, a lot of suffering. And sometimes most people with this disease are confined to a wheelchair. That was the disease that they gave me at the age of 21. So I decided, you know what? I'm not going to let this disease define me. I'm not going to let this adversity hold me down because I'm in control of my life. And every day that we as human beings get to wake up, we are blessed to make a choice. Listen to me. We are blessed to make a choice as to how we choose to live the life that we live. It's up to us. So I made a decision to make a choice that I'm not going to let this hold me down. I was the first person to ever play Division I college football with the disease multiple sclerosis. I still graduated with my business management degree on time. It's not about what you can't do when adversity strikes itself in your life. It's about focusing on the things that you can control and the things that you can do. We have to start speaking up, ladies and gentlemen, so we can stand out. In the midst of my adversity, y'all, in the midst of feeling down and out, life also gave me something that I had to read between the fine print to see. Because in the midst of us going through what we're going through, in the midst of what you're trying to do day in and day out at City Square, because I know you have so much going on your job, life will also bring you some things of upliftment, but you have to look at life through a different lens so you can see them. We talked about gift and purpose. My senior year in college, I took freshman speech. I had a phobia of speaking in front of people. I was terrified of speaking in front of people. So I took Africana Studies because as a black man, I figured, if I'm going to take a speech class, I might as well take a speech class with people who look like me to feel a little bit more comfortable. Y'all, I walk into the class, don't nobody look like me in the class. I'm saying, bro, this Africana Studies. Where all my people at? But it was in that moment, MS and all, that I discovered that my gift is to speak and that my purpose in life is to serve. So, ladies and gentlemen, what is your gift and what is your purpose? Because those two things are not the same. They are entirely different. But where we go wrong as human beings is we figure out our gift, but we then don't move along to figure out what our purpose in life is. Therefore, we walk in circles of unfulfillment and unhappiness in our lives because we aren't being and doing what we were called to be as human beings. And see, when you discover your gift and when you are firm in your purpose in life, you're then allowing those things to spill over into your job. Y'all listen to me. You can spill those things over into your job. Therefore, the fire that you have and the passion that you possess to do what it is that you do, it never burns out. I want y'all to write this in and type this into the chat. I want y'all to focus on taking your passion, spilling it over into your profession so that you can be a blessing. I'm going to say that again and let that marinate on your cerebellum one more time. Take your passion, turn it into utilizing it in your profession so that you can be a blessing. That way, it doesn't matter what the day holds. It doesn't matter what tasks are presented themselves on your day throughout the course of your work and your job. When you know your passion and you're able to utilize those and create an environment that centers around your passion with the work that you do, your fire never burns out and consistency is what lays, and therefore you never fatigue on your job. You are a purpose-driven person for City Square, and that is the thing that most people that you deal with on a routine and regular basis are in desperate and dire need of. Be that beacon of light right now in this world that is filled of so much darkness. This is the time to let your light shine. Take your passion, spill it over into your profession so you can be a blessing. But number one, you first and foremost have to understand your gift and be strong enough as a woman and as a man to walk in your purpose. Before we are not even realizing it, we're talking about recession-proof strategies. Something that is so dynamic and something that the world is looking for right now as we're all going through pandemic era, as we're all going through COVID, as we're all going through so much hurt, so much pain, so much loss, and so much fatigue. You're already working on yourself internally because the things that you possess, gift, purpose, passion, and drive, not even the walls of a coronavirus, not even the walls of a pandemic can penetrate those things. And you don't have to pay for those things. They are your very own unique thing that you were crafted with, that you were blessed with, that you were given, that nobody else was given into this world. Therefore, that boosts your self-worth as a human being because you understand who you are and what you're capable of. So number one, we've got your gift and your purpose. I got your mind marinating and thinking about that. I want that to be your homework for the rest of the week. Do you understand your gift and your purpose? Number two, I want everybody to think about this. Who sharpens your iron and who replenishes your cup? Type that in the chat. Who sharpens your iron and who replenishes your cup? Now I got a question. I got something I got to confess. Your boy TC, like, I'm a very big nerd. Okay. As a kid, I was always that dude who was underneath the bed with some honey buns, my mama yelling and screaming at me with a flashlight, reading science fiction books and comic books, like letting my mind just imagine and wander. And being so much of a fan of literature and being so much of a fan with writers, it allowed me to like dig into some of my most favorite novels and some of my most favorite books and learn a little bit about the authors who made these novels and books. Do y'all know that in the 1930s and 1940s in Oxford, in Europe, it was home to some of the most gifted writers and some of the most gifted minds of our time within of that time, and as well as the time that we live in right now. You're talking about writers like C.S. Lewis, or J.R. Tolkien, or Charles Williams. People that you may not know off the bat, but I guarantee you know the novels that they produced. C.S. Lewis is the author of The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, the Chronicles of Narnia, right? J.R. Tolkien, the author of The Lord of the Rings and the trilogy. We still read these books. We still see these movies on Netflix. But the one thing that allowed these gentlemen's ideas to flourish and impact the world and take the world by storm was the fact that they used to meet together every week as a group. The group was called the Inklings. And every week they would meet together. They would talk about the ideas that they had. They would talk about the adversity that they were experiencing. They would talk about their marriages and their relationships. And they would go over their scripts and they would bounce the ideas off of each other. And way before it hit publishing, they would already have critiques from each other. And their iron would sharpen each other. And because they did those things, that's why 50 to 60 years later, we still understand their work and we still know and are impacted by the novels and the books and the movies that they have created. So the question from me to you is, who is sharpening your iron? Who are those trustworthy people in your life? You need somebody in your life that can tell you about yourself, long story short. Who is in your life that can tell you your idea may not be the best idea? Who can tell you like, nah, you know what? You needed to think about that. Or who would say, don't cut that corner on your job because that person that you're trying to help, they really need to be blessed by City Square. That person who would say, I understand that you're tired, but understand that what you do is so valuable. And it gives hope and perspective to people who are in desperate and dire need. Who is that person that's sharpening your iron? And I told y'all before, I'm all about real life and real talk. I told y'all in the beginning, I battled erectile dysfunction as a man at the age of 21 with multiple sclerosis. The person who sharpens my iron is that beautiful lady right there. That's my wife. Her name is Shayna. I never thought that I'd be able to have children. As you can see, those are our two babies right there. That little knucklehead on the other side, that's my son, Messiah. I tell him every day he's a future king. That beautiful young lady right there, I tell her every day she's a princess right now, but she will be a future queen, and her name is Cheyenne. My wife sharpens my iron. Being open and honest about mental health and self-worth, I see a therapist every Sunday at 3 p.m. I grew up in a household that was always like, what goes on in this house stays in this house. When I talk about iron sharpening iron, I want you all as people to know that it's okay if you have to go out and see somebody to hear about the baggage that you are carrying. To understand that, you go through so much on your job and in your personal life that you need to get some stuff out, but you also need some power, some source, some upliftment, some encouragement, and some perspective coming back into your cup. Think about who those people are for you in your life. And if you don't have those people, it's okay, because now you're aware that it's necessary, right? Have no shame with going out and seeing somebody if you need someone else to sharpen your iron, to help uplift you, or to help take off the baggage or the weight that you've been carrying around since you were a child. Because it's bogging you down and it's keeping you from being the person that you've been destined and called to be. Who is sharpening your iron today, right? And then after that, I want you to write this down. Last principle. Begin with the end in mind. Write that down. Write that down. I see it. Hey, Alicia, I see you. Family and peers. That's good. And by all means, yo, be open. And if something hits you and you know the answers to those things, go ahead and type that into the chat so people can see that it's feasible, that it's possible. And words have power to them. If something touches you, if something hits you, get it out. Don't hold it in, yo, get it out. But that third and that last principle, again, begin your day with the end in mind. It always bothers me and blows my mind when people wake up and they say that they have nothing to do. Yo, you have so much to do. The problem is that most people don't actually visualize what they want their day to look like. They don't begin their day with the end in mind, which means they wake up and they have no goals, no agenda, no set things of what they want to accomplish as a human being. Because here's the powerful thing about beginning your day with the end in mind. You start to think about how it is that you're going to get there. What emails do you need to send out? What I love yous do you need to do? What hugs do you need to give? What person and what people do you need to go above and beyond? Because you know if they don't, they're not going to get the job done that they need to. What does that look like? Your mind will slowly start to trickle, and then you put yourself in position to where you organize yourself so that you meet the end goal that you have in mind. And we're just talking about your job beginning with the end in mind, but how about this? Let's go deeper. Yo, the ability to have life is a true blessing, right? The fact that we have breath in our lungs today should be motivation and empowerment enough. Why? Because somebody didn't wake up this morning. And this is coronavirus, this is pandemic. We all know some people whose lives have been taken from this earth and they are no longer here. Yo, but you are. So how do you not take advantage of the day? So when we talk about begin with the end in mind, you've got your daily end, what that looks like, but also what do you want your legacy to be? Some of us on this line, yo, we're parents. What do you want your children to say about you? If you weren't allowed to live to see tomorrow, what would your babies, what would your spouse, what would your mother, what would your auntie, your brothers, what would they say about you? That's fire in and of itself, because then you're living a purpose-driven life. And you understand that this life that you live is way bigger than you. And you know that every day that you have is the capability to make an impact and change somebody else's life. I wake up and I go get it every single day. It is my goal to not let MS hold me hostage. Like I want people to look at me and be like, man, I can't see the MS on that dude. Like where's the MS, bro? Like I don't see it, right? But it's because I have my gift and my purpose and I'm driven by those things and they power me and propel me each and every day. And I try to cut videos. I try to send my motivational messages, and I want those things I want those things active in the atmosphere. Why? Not so much for myself. Yes, to better other people, but watch this. If the good Lord swoops down and takes Tyler Campbell off of this world, at least my babies and my wife will know how much I love them. They'll understand the process of wanting to serve and wanting to help other people, because those things make the world that we live in better. And they'll know that their father never quit and he always gave life his all. So how could I wake up every single day, MS or not, and not give life my very best? And that is my challenge to you all today. How could you be blessed with life, being blessed with a job, being blessed with all the adversity and all the problems that come with it? Yes, but again, we have life and you're building a legacy. And so when you understand that the life you live is just bigger than you, it's another way of keeping your energy pumping and being firm and being hungry. I love y'all's website, and I was looking at it like right before I got on. And in the bottom paragraph of your website, it actually talks about how it is important to remind individuals that they get a second chance, right? Important to remind people that they're not alone, that there's somebody there who supports them. And it popped in my head. It's like, yo, people need to be reminded way more than they need to be instructed. And for some people in here, you may be in a managerial position. I don't know. But I challenge everybody, like, be open and be more vulnerable and be more transparent on your job. Because then when you were asking a favor, then when you were having to step up and meet with clients, then when you're having to organize a conversation, it's easier for people to just be receptive of what you're saying when you remind them than coming from a forceful position of instructing them. Yo, type that in the chat. People need to be reminded way more than they need to be instructed. And I took that word remind because it's on y'all's website. That is a mission of yours. And then again, yo, your office is off Malcolm X Boulevard, baby. How much of a reminder do you need to know that what you do, yo, it's a powerful thing? You're on the street of a man who exhibited that power and changed the world because of it. So if you don't get the inspiration from me, yo, just look up the address of where your office is. People need to be reminded more than they need to be instructed. So I want to break down those 3 principles and we're going to get out of here because I know I speak fast, but sometimes people listen slow. Principle number 1, do you understand your gift and are you walking in your purpose? All right? Because if you're doing so, you're able to take your passion, utilize it in your profession so that you can continue to be a blessing. Principle number 2. Who is that person that is sharpening your iron and refilling your cup? If you don't have it right now, it's cool. Trust me, everybody needs somebody. Recognize that you may need somebody. And if it takes that help that you need to go get to see somebody every week to try to bounce those ideas off or try to get some things off of your chest that you've been carrying around for years that stops you and bogs you down from doing your job to the best of your ability, it's okay. Yo, step number 1, just admit that the problem is there. Then we go handle it. And your life will be forever changed. And then principle number 3, yo, begin your day with the end in mind. What does your overall end day look like? When you know what you want your day at the end to look like, bro, it's easy to formulate and make decisions so that you ultimately meet that goal. It's bigger than just you. What will your legacy be for your family, your children, your brothers, your sisters, everybody that you come in contact with? If your breath was taken from your lungs and you don't see tomorrow, what legacy are you leaving behind? Oh, my name is Tyler Campbell. This has been Real Life and Real Talk. If you want to see the proof, yo, you can always find me on social media. I'm at TCSpeaks32. If there's a question that you had, if there was something that was said that touched your soul, send me an email, tyler@tcspeaks.com. I don't have no secretaries, bro. I get right back to people because I don't play with nobody else's life, and I certainly don't want somebody else to play with mine. And I'm always at www.iamtylercampbell.com. This is Real Life and Real Talk. Let's go, ladies and gentlemen, so we can grow. City Square, DFW, that's your territory. How will you change it for the better? The strategies that were just given, those are recession-proof strategies. Why? Because they're only dealing with you. You have to work inwardly so you can outwardly be that blessing. Thank y'all so very much for your time. It's been an honor and a privilege.